What you're seeing on this video is what Lyudmila Putin and Zack did to me on May the 6th. Jesuits Lyudmila Putin, Sarah Avery, and other obese Jesuit women blame me that they cannot get a man to love them and marry them or have sex with them. It is somehow Gail Chord's fault that they can't control their appetites, that they don't have the discipline to exercise, and that they are obese. They even go so far as to claim that doctors who suggest that obesity is a health risk are full of crap, and claim the doctors just say this because the skinny people of the world are in a conspiracy against the obese people. So these obese Jesuit women have created a group they call Thin Privilege, a group that glorifies obesity and strives to make lack of self-control, jealousy over anyone who looks better than you, and terrorism against skinny people or terrorism against those who promote lifestyles that encourage fitness or a lean appearance a virtue. Lyudmila Putin, Sarah Avery, and the Thin Privilege group were behind the Boston terrorist bombings. They felt that because they were so fat and had to walk several blocks to hide the bombs under their huge breasts or in the folds of their fat, that they suffered and deserved commendation. They dropped off the pressure cooker bombs, which they used because I cook with a pressure cooker all the time. Then they left the scene and killed thousands, not just some people, it was thousands at the Boston Marathon. In the meanwhile, even though they boasted that they were behind the Boston Marathon bombs, and they told the reason why, because us skinny people are in a conspiracy against them, Lyudmila Putin, along with Zack, fabricated an online presence for the Tsarnaev brothers, and even with it was so brilliant, you know that brilliant Zack had to be behind it. And they even arranged to have one of these brothers killed so that Lyudmila could frame her Boston terrorism bombings on the Tsarnaev brothers to make them the Patsies for her crimes. The sad part to all this is because Lyudmila and the Thin Privileged women have yet to be arrested for the Boston terrorism bombings, and the world is going after the Tsarnaev brothers who were set up, the real criminals are free to commit more crimes. So Lyudmila Putin, in combination with Jesuit leader Zack, used technology that they probably learned from the Gail android, and which they've kept to themselves, to cause me to slip on May the 6th when I was returning to get my mail. And there was a dip in the pavement, and my foot got caught on it. I lost my balance, and then I felt like this force was just hitting me real hard and sent me crashing down to the concrete below. That was Zack and Lyudmila Putin that used that force on me, using some sort of satellite technology. I managed to spare my head and neck from injury by shoving my left hand down and landing somewhat on my knees. So my knees and my left hand took the brunt of the fall. I was wearing some pants with some pretty sturdy material, even though it was a thin material. So I ended up with a bad hit on both knees, and the material blocked my skin broke, but it would have broken worse if there wasn't material between me and the concrete. But the force I hit the concrete was such a hard force that even with material between my skin and the concrete, my skin broke, and I've got gauze bandages on both my knees right now. So the main injury that I got to my knees was a hard hit on both knees onto concrete. The skin on my left hand hit the pavement hard and caused a deep cut on my pinky finger, and you can see this in the video that I'm showing as I'm speaking. This world is the result of not arresting Lyudmila Putin and Sarah Avery, the obese Jesuit women who were behind the true criminals behind the Boston Marathon bombings. Vladimir has divorced Lyudmila Putin over the Boston Marathon bombings. So now she wants to kill me. It's my fault. he only married her to prevent a war with Russia in the first place because George W. Bush told Vladimir under threat of war between Russia and the U.S. that Vladimir better marry this Jesuit Lyudmila and pretend like Vladimir's wife Larissa never died. Now that Lyudmila's activities could possibly bring war with the U.S. just because of what she did at the Boston Marathon, Vladimir has completely dissociated himself from Lyudmila. And now Lyudmila feels she has the right to kill me, even though she interfered with Vladimir's love for me back in 2001 by forcing him into a political marriage he never wanted. Vladimir has never gone to bed with Lyudmila for this reason, and she's jealous of me because she claims that it's unfair, that I have all these men on my marriage list and she can't get any man to love her. Vladimir has never wanted her and has always wanted me ever since his wife Larissa died, even when I was slightly overweight. In 2003 and 2004, I'm 5'7", and in 2003, 2004, I was going up to about 146 pounds. That's slightly overweight for my height, and I have a thin bone build. So because to them I'm skinny, actually right now I'm on Seroquel, and I have to struggle to keep my weight. And if you'll check the links below this video, you can see that I'm doing a food diet, and I'm also I'm going to get back into exercise soon. I've committed myself to lifelong exercise to honor the Boston marathoners who did this marathon for me. So because to her I'm skinny, she feels she has the right to kill me, even though her actions against me forced me to file for bankruptcy in 2002 because she used President Bush under threat of war with the U.S. to force herself on Vladimir Putin. Vladimir has never wanted to play the Lyudmila marriage game and therefore has never gone to bed with her. So she blames all her problem on me. She tried to kill me on May the 6th with a slip and fall that Zack Knight helped her with. World, we need to arrest this woman. I mean, she got away with the Boston Marathon bombings, and now she's going to try to kill me. And this criminal she is guilty of first-degree murder. She needs to be arrested. And you may say, well, why in the world would Zack Knight mess with these obese women? He likes shapely women. He's a sensual sex freak. Yes, but that's just it. He thinks he can kill me through them because nobody would expect him to work through a bunch of fat women because he despises fat women. And so that's why it's so brilliant. Because you see, he wants me dead for a different reason. He wants me dead because of a book I'm working on that will devastate his Jesuit order and expose him for the fraud and killer and Jesus Christ fake that he is. And that's my next book. And he's already aware of what this book is about, and it's going to be brilliant, and he knows it, and he wants to kill me to stop that book from going out. He's willing to do anything and everything to stop my next book from going out. Now, Lyudmila wants me dead because she's just a jealous, good-for-nothing criminal, man. And she's just like the other Jesuit, Laurie McBride, who raped Brent Spiner and almost killed him several times. These Jesuits are killers. So she wants me dead because her political marriage to Vladimir never worked and Vladimir never wanted her. It's my fault, so, I deserve to die, Even though she cooperated with the Jesuits in the jet that crashed at Queens, New York in 2001, that intimidated both Bush and Putin into allowing her to become Lyudmila in place of Vladimir's real wife, Larissa, who died in 2000. That political marriage didn't work, and Vladimir's only dreamed about loving me since his Larissa died. So I deserve to die, according to Lyudmila. So on May the 6th, she tried to kill me. Oh, that wasn't the first time, by the way. She has damaged me by forcing herself on Vladimir, making him unable to marry me and to rescue me, and he couldn't rescue me from bankruptcy in 2002. I filed and I got it in 2002. She was in the way. Right now, these brazen, thin, privileged criminals are actually suing the Boston marathoners who got injured and died for daring to sponsor that horrible Boston Marathon in order to give me a Nobel Prize in physical fitness, which I don't think I deserve anyways. But, beside the point, they think they got the right to kill these people for trying to honor me with a Nobel Prize for physical fitness because it makes the fat people of the world look bad, or fat women, I should say. Imagine that. The criminals behind the Boston Marathon suing the victims of their crimes. Only Zack Knight and his followers could go this low. Jesus has allowed me to punish Zack Knight with lightning bolts and spermicide bullets for the Southern California wildfires, which Zack did with Lori McBride, for the thin privilege group that he works with to try to kill me, for increasing the pollen count in my town today, for trying to kill Jesuit Rule 13, possibly because I've made Rule 13 a character in this book he dreads, and for assisting the thin privilege group to cover up their murders by fabricating evidence to implicate the innocent Tsarnaev brothers in order to protect thin privilege so that Zack can continue to work with them undercover to try to stop me using death or whatever from publishing the book that I'm working on. Brent and I have challenged Zack Knight to show up at Gabriel Chana Fox News Channel, or even just to us, to prove to us that he hasn't been injured because Jesus hasn't been using me to punish him for all the crimes I mentioned in this video. He's mysteriously missing. We can't find him anywhere. That's because he's so damaged, because Jesus has used me to punish him with lightning bolts and spermicide bullets for all the crimes that I mention on this video.